The Untold Story of Volodymyr Zelensky. Full Biography of Ukrainian President. Part 3. In April 2022, Zelensky criticized Germany's ties with Russia. In May 2022, Zelensky said that Ukrainian men of conscription age had a duty to remain in Ukraine and that up to 100 Ukrainian soldiers were killed every day in the fighting in eastern Ukraine. He made the comment after he was asked about an online petition calling to lift a prohibition on Ukrainian men leaving Ukraine. As Zelensky ordered a general military mobilization in February 2022, he also banned men aged 18 to 60 from leaving Ukraine. In early June 2022, Zelensky's advisor Mikhailo Podolyak said that up to 200 Ukrainian soldiers were killed in combat every day. Zelensky denounced suggestions by former U.S. diplomat Henry Kissinger that Ukraine should cede control of Crimea and Donbas to Russia in exchange for peace. On the 25th of May 2022, he said that Ukraine would not agree to peace until Russia agreed to return Crimea and the Donbas region to Ukraine. However, he later said he did not believe that all the land seized by Russia since 2014, which includes Crimea, could be recaptured by force, saying that if we decide to go that way, we will lose hundreds of thousands of people. On the 3rd of May 2022, Zelensky accused Turkey of having double standards by welcoming Russian tourists while attempting to act as an intermediary between Russia and Ukraine in order to end the war. On the 25th of May 2022, Zelensky said that he was satisfied with China's policy of staying away from the conflict. In August 2022, he said China had the economic leverage to pressure Putin to end the war, adding, "I'm sure that without the Chinese market for the Russian Federation, Russia would be feeling complete economic isolation. That's something that China can do to limit the trade until the war is over." According to Zelensky, since the beginning of the invasion, Chinese President Xi Jinping had refused to speak with him. On the 30th of May 2022, Zelensky criticized EU leaders for being too soft on Russia and asked, why can Russia still earn almost €1 billion a day by selling energy? The study published by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air calculates that the EU paid Russia about €56 billion for fossil fuel deliveries in the 3 months following the start of Russia's invasion. On the 20th of June 2022, Zelensky addressed African Union representatives via video conference. He invited African leaders for a virtual meeting, but only 4 of them attended. On the 20th of July 2022, South America's Mercosur trade bloc refused Zelensky's request to speak at the trade bloc summit in Paraguay. Speaking about the 2022 Russian mobilization, Zelensky called on Russians to not submit to criminal mobilization, saying, "Russian commanders do not care about the lives of Russians. They just need to replenish the empty spaces left by killed and wounded Russian soldiers." Following Putin's announcement of Russia annexing 4 regions of Ukrainian territory it had seized during its invasion, Zelensky announced that Ukraine would not hold peace talks with Russia while Putin was president. On the 25th of September 2022, Zelensky said that Putin's threats to use nuclear weapons could be a reality. He added that Putin wants to scare the whole world with nuclear blackmail. He also said that Putin is aware that the world will never forgive a Russian nuclear strike. When asked what kind of relationship Ukrainians and Ukraine will have with Russia after the war, Zelensky replied that they took too many people, too many lives. The society will not forgive them, adding that it will be the choice of our society whether to talk to them or not to talk at all, and for how many years, tens of years or more. On the 21st of December 2022, Zelensky visited the United States on his first foreign trip since the war began. He met with President Joe Biden and addressed Congress, delivering his full speech in English. The United States announced they would supply Patriot missiles to Ukraine as had been requested. In a mid-June interview with BIHUS Info, a representative of the President of Ukraine at the Cabinet of Ministers, Andriy Harris, stated that Zelensky had never promised to lower communal tariffs, but that a campaign video in which Zelensky stated that the price of natural gas in Ukraine could fall by 20-30% or maybe more was not a direct promise, but actually half-hinting and joking. Zelensky's election manifesto mentioned tariffs only once, that money raised from a capital amnesty would go towards lowering the tariff burden on low-income citizens. During his presidential campaign, Zelensky said that he supported Ukraine's becoming a member of the European Union and NATO, but he said Ukrainian voters should decide on the country's membership of these 2 organizations in referendums. At the same time, he believed that the Ukrainian people had already chosen Euro integration. Zelensky's close advisor Ivan Bakanov also said that Zelensky's policy is supportive of membership of both the EU and NATO and proposes holding referendums on membership. Zelensky's electoral program claimed that Ukrainian NATO membership is the choice of the maiden and the course that is enshrined in the Constitution. In addition, it is an instrument for strengthening our defense capability. The program states that Ukraine should set the goal to apply for a NATO membership action plan in 2024. The program also states that Zelensky will do everything to ensure that Ukraine can apply for European Union membership in 2024. 2 days before the second round, Zelensky stated that he wanted to build a strong, powerful, free Ukraine, which is not the younger sister of Russia, which is not a corrupt partner of Europe, but our independent Ukraine. In October 2020, he spoke in support of Azerbaijan in regards to the Nagorno-Karabakh war between Azerbaijan and ethnic Armenians over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh. Zelensky said, "We support Azerbaijan's territorial integrity and sovereignty just as Azerbaijan always supports our territorial integrity and sovereignty." In February 2022, he applied for Ukraine to join the European Union. Zelensky has tried to position Ukraine as a neutral party in the political and trade tensions between the United States and China. In January 2021, Zelensky said in an interview with Axios that he does not perceive China as a geopolitical threat and that he does not agree with the United States' assertions that it represents one. Zelensky supported the late 2013 and early 2014 Euromaidan movement. During the war in Donbas, he actively supported the Ukrainian army. Zelensky helped fund a volunteer battalion fighting on Donbas. In a 2014 interview with Komsomolskaya Pravda in Ukraine, Zelensky said that he would have liked to pay a visit to Crimea, but would avoid it because armed people are there. In August 2014, Zelensky performed for Ukrainian troops in Mariupol, and later his studio donated $1 million to the Ukrainian army. Regarding the 2014 Russian annexation of Crimea, Zelensky said that, speaking realistically, it would be possible to return Crimea to Ukrainian control only after a regime change in Russia. In an interview in December 2018, Zelensky stated that as president he would try to end the ongoing war in Donbas by negotiating with Russia, as he considered the leaders of the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic to be Russia's puppets. It would make no sense to speak with them. He did not rule out holding a referendum on the issue. In an interview published 3 days before the 2019 presidential election, Zelensky stated that he was against granting the Donbas region special status. In the interview, he also said that if he were elected president, he would not sign a law on amnesty for the militants of the DPR and LPR, in response to suggestions to the contrary. He stated in April 2019 that he regarded Russian President Vladimir Putin as an enemy. On the 2nd of May 2019, Zelensky wrote on Facebook that the border is the only thing Russia and Ukraine have in common. Zelensky opposes the Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline between Russia and Germany, calling it a dangerous weapon, not only for Ukraine but for the whole of Europe. On the 25th of May 2022, Zelensky said that Ukraine will fight until it regains all its territories. During the presidential campaign, Zelensky promised bills to fight corruption, including removal of immunity from the president of the country, members of the Verkhovna Rada, and judges, a law about impeachment, reform of election laws, and providing efficient trial by jury. He promised to bring the salary for military personnel to the level of NATO standards, although Zelensky prefers elections with open-list election ballots after he called the snap 2019 Ukrainian parliamentary election his draft law on amendments to some laws of Ukraine in connection with the change of the electoral system for the election of people's deputies. Proposed to hold the election with closed list because the 60-day term to the snap election did not leave any chances for the introduction of this system. Zelensky opposed targeting the Russian language in Ukraine and banning artists for their political opinions. In April 2019, he stated that he was not against a Ukrainian language quota, although he noted they could be tweaked. He also said that Russian artists, who have turned into politicians, should remain banned from entering Ukraine. In responding to a petition demanding equal rights for same-sex couples, Zelensky echoed the view that family does not depend on sex and asked the Prime Minister of Ukraine to review civil partnerships for same-sex couples. With regards to same-sex marriage, Zelensky cited a provision in the Constitution of Ukraine barring same-sex marriage, as well as a ban on wartime changes to the Constitution, ruling out an introduction of same-sex marriages during the ongoing war. Civil rights organizations praised the statement, though criticizing its vagueness, as Zelensky eschewed details about legal proposals for civil partnerships. On the 2nd of December 2022, Zelensky entered a bill to the Verkhovna Rada that would officially ban all activities of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church UOC in Ukraine. In September 2003, Zelensky married Olna Kyashko, with whom he had attended school and university. Kyashko worked as a scriptwriter at Kvartal 95. The couple's first daughter, Oleksandra, was born in July 2004. Their son, Kyrylo, was born in January 2013. In Zelensky's 2014 movie 8 New Dates, their daughter played Sasha, the daughter of the protagonist. In 2016, she participated in the show The Comedy Comic Company Comedies Kids and won UAH 50,000. The family lives in Kiev. His assets were worth about UAH 37 million in 2018. Thanks for watching.